Hey guys, I'm Eric. I'm the performance technician for the Dreams to Reality program. Jason, a former coworker of MAP, passed in December and we will be finishing his build for his wife and family to enjoy. As you can see, we have the car here. We pulled the engine out, pulled the subframes out, and pulled the fuel system out. Currently, the engine is getting all brand new gaskets and seals. The subframes are getting sandblasted and repowder coated, and all new suspension and steering components just arrived, so soon we'll be starting to piece the car back together. Many car enthusiasts know what a VR4 is, but for some of you that don't, and you want to know why it's so unique, you're in luck.
Jason's car is a pretty special car. Would imagine a good number of you guys know why, but if you don't, here's a little fact check. The reason it's called the Galant VR4 is because of the viscous real-time four-wheel drive, so VR4. The car was originally developed for Group A rally, and it was the predecessor to the Starion, which competed in Group B, but was quickly canceled due to the high death rate. VR4 was a showcase of Mitsubishi's high-performance technology capabilities. The car did very well in Group A rally. To meet homologation rules, they had to build 5,000 units, 3,000 of which came to the US. In 91, 1,000 units were shipped over. We have number 909 for Jason's car, and then in 92, they shipped over another 2,000 units, which for a parts car, we have number 1356. From the factory, these cars did 0 to 60 in 7.3 seconds. They did the quarter mile in 15.3 seconds, and they only made 195 horsepower, so that's pretty decent. Now that you know why this car was so important to Jason, and from a performance standpoint why it's so important, we can dive into the build plan for the entire vehicle.
Hi, I'm Kyle. I am the project lead of the Dreams to Reality project. So one of the first steps we're going to do to turn this car back into a rolling chassis is we're taking the car all the way down to its bare chassis, both subframes removed from the car, and then basically we're going to rebuild it from there. So there was a little bit of rust and some scale in the car that's been sitting for a number of years, so we're going to basically clean that, scrape it all off, and put some rust neutralizer and get the whole bottom of the car paint it really nice, stop the corrosion where it's at, and then go through each subframe. We're going to powder coat them, all new bushings, all new suspension components, all new brakes throughout, make sure the e-brake works from front to back with the chassis, and then we're going to install the big brakes, new brake lines to get this car back to a solid rolling chassis. We've had a few things that we've had to deal with. We pulled the gas tank out, all the studs were broken off. Of the fuel sender, all of you DSM guys know exactly what the problem is. The only difference is this is a Galant VR4, so there's about 2,000 gas tanks available in the entire country for these, and you can't find them. So we made a billet fuel sender unit holder so we could use the factory fuel sender in the car. We actually had to get a parts car because there was so much wiring and so many brackets missing from this car. It had been lost over the 5 moves it had gone through. So we had to buy a parts car, and we're going to take all the parts off that so we can make this one complete. So to basically get it from a roller into a car that's running and driving, there's a few obstacles that we have to overcome. This car has a forward-facing, reverse-mounted turbo kit that was already built for the car that was pretty well done, but it has remote power steering that's mounted in the rear. So we have to go through a whole entire power steering setup in order to redesign all of that because there's nothing factory can be used. This car also has a rear steer delete, so all of that stuff's been removed from the car. We're going through the entire engine. It's been sitting for a long time. It was originally built by us, but it's been sitting for a number of years, so we basically went through the engine and put all new seals in it and made sure there's no rust in the cylinders and make sure the engine's up to snuff. We have a lot of great sponsors on board to really turn Jason's car from dreams to reality. A lot of brands really stepped up to the plate and hooked us up with the things that we need to get this car done. We've got from AEM, they hooked us up with their brand new line of gauges so we can monitor the car. They also gave us some cam gears for the engine. Comp Clutch has also sponsored us with a twin disc clutch for this car. We're trying to get a heavier flywheel in the car so it drives a little better. Kind of has to have a twin disc in order to hold the power we're trying to make. ECM Link came through with the latest version of V3 and a brand new cable for us to run V3 in Jason's car. Our local Mitsubishi dealership, White Bear Mitsubishi, came through with a ton of OEM Mitsu parts. They gave us $1,500 credit to buy all the OEM parts to get this car back up and running. The car was missing a whole lot of things, and we like to use OE bolts and parts because we're very specific on how it looks on these cars. SparkTech came through with a custom-made coil-on plug with the Dreams to Reality logo in it for this project that we're working on. We also had a supplier of all the fittings and lines and hoses for this car, because there's quite a bit of AN hoses in this car. It's a company called Bad Ink. They supplied us with all that. Radium Engineering came through with one of their extra large oil catch can systems for this car. They're very, very cool products. If you haven't seen them, definitely check them out. It's probably one of the coolest billet products you'll ever see. And finally, we chose PowerCruise to unveil this car to Jeni. They offer a pretty unique thing called a cruising session, where it's a controlled environment where a beginner driver can take their own pace around an entire road course to get a feel for a car that has this much power. Jeni and her kids are going to be driving this car, so the car safety is the most important thing for all of us to do and take care of. We want to make sure that it can run on pump gas and E85, so they can go anywhere they want without any restriction, because that's kind of one of the concerns of this car. We also want to make it have 600 horsepower, because that was Jason's goal. He really talked about, and he was so excited about telling everyone that I'm gonna have a 600 horsepower car. Even if he wasn't gonna use it, he wanted to say that it made 600 horsepower, that it can make 600 horsepower. So we're gonna make 600 horsepower.
So that's all we have for now. Check out episode 3 where we get this car back into a complete roller. Let us know what you want to see with Jason's project. And remember, you can give back to the family via GoFundMe. Stay tuned and thanks for watching.